So let's go ahead. I was saying like welcome everybody. So we are super excited to have a chance to share some content and nice content with you. Doesn't matter if you are in person or not. And a big thank you to sponsors, partners, and all the guys that organized this nice conference and stay with us like the whole day. There are a lot of nice content. By the way, you can get an Excel file which will help you to organize where you need to jump in, depends on the session that you want. Just go to the SPS Warsaw website and then you can download an Excel file with all the team's links. My name is Sara. I am a Microsoft 365 administrator. That's why I prepared this session. Why a Microsoft administrator needs to, take a look and take care about Power Platform because it's very important, and I don't want to have you learning the hard way as I did. So that's why I prepare this presentation to give you some advice and show you where we need to take care. So I am living in Berlin, even though I am Brazilian. So I'm living in Germany, I think 3 years now. Yeah. So if you want to follow me or if you want to send me questions after this session, feel free. This is my blog post. And also you have 2 key codes here, which you can find me on Twitter or on LinkedIn. And besides that, I am also Office 5 MVP, completing this year 9 years or 8 years. Always I'm confused because I have more, um, more, how can I call that? I don't remember, like more or than I should, I guess. Anyways, so let's start. And again, feel free to send questions, and then our amazing moderator will take it, and then maybe we can answer like during the session. Just a warning for all of you, because I guess I should set the expectation right now. I don't want to talk about how to create apps, how to create a flow, how to, understand how to use all the power of Power Platform. Actually, my speech here and what I have prepared is to talk with admins, and most of the people that are taking care of SharePoint, Exchange, Skype, Microsoft Teams, because we were not taking a look on Power Platform before because it was not on our desk. But now I think you should have a look. That's why do not expect in this session to see how to create things, because you are going to have many sessions during this Friday about it. But here, have a look where you need to pay attention. And everything that I prepared, it's basically what I learned. I have also a few examples. And there is, of course, reference and the COE started kit that I will provide you the link. But anyways, when I was preparing the session, I was like thinking, how can I share my own experience with all of you? And I hope it will be helpful. So the agenda for today, why do you need Power Platform governance based on the title of this session? So I need to explain why. and also I would like to show you some how you can start, if you'd like to prepare a governance paper or to prepare a governance plan for your company, how you can prepare and where you can use Power Platform tools for admins. And also everything that I will be speaking and I will be explaining, basically you can find in the end of the session. I will provide you a link where you can find like the whole governance guidelines, and then basically there you could prepare on the administration part into the operations and support part, also the adoption part. But on this session, as we only have a few minutes, I will just describe all the administration and governance, how you can use right now after this session. So, like when I started this talk with my colleagues, it was exactly this face from them that I got it. Why do you need to take care about Power Platform? Because we are Microsoft 365 administrators. We are not citizen developers. We are not business users. We are not creating any Power Automate. We are not creating any Power Apps. Why should we take care? That's exactly like the question that you get back if you are bringing this topic to them. And again, why do you need to take care and why do you need, to invest time in Power Platform governance if we are a Microsoft 365 administrator? Exactly that face that you are going to see from them. Don't worry, I saw it before, so I know what I'm talking about. And basically, to explain why, if you are an administrator, you can just send me a chat if you are taking care about Office 365 admin part. If you are a global administrator, for example, if you are, send a message here in the chat to let us know. And when I was bringing this talk to my colleagues, as I said, I got few like strange faces and strange answers. And then in the end, I said, okay, so if you are saying that we don't need, we don't need. And basically, they said, Sara, relax. It's under control. Everything is under control here in this company. You don't need to bring more talks. You don't need to try to invest time on things that we are aware of. We know, everything is under control. And then I discover what does it mean, when they said like, don't worry, I have everything under control. Basically, this picture can explain, when I discovered what they were telling me. It was very funny because I said, okay, so let's move on. Nobody is using Power Platform, so we didn't allow end users. We didn't assign a flow license or like before Power Automate license or flow license, Power Apps license. So they are not using. Why you are worried? And then that's why I'm here, guys, to tell you why, because I have some examples of what does it mean, everything under control. Okay. First one, if you want to answer me, what is wrong of having a workflow with 3 steps like that? It's so basic, right? Someone is trigger when an email is arriving, get the email, include all the attachments, and they are saving the information in their own drives. What is wrong with that? Nothing wrong. 3 steps, everybody can do it. Why should the admin care about it? And then depends on the company, of course, depends on your normatives, your security rules, and so on. You can have some information going out of your company and can be, business data. And then you don't know, and somebody will ask you in the end, because even if we are not responsible or we are not taking care, probably in the end they are going to find us because we are the global admins, we are the ones that are taking care of Microsoft 365 environment. So when you have a workflow with 3 steps like that and you don't know that people are using, you can have uh, this issue in your company. Maybe people are moving sensitive information out of your organization, or they are saving in their own um, personal own drive. That's why this workflow, that is nothing wrong. I think everybody could create. They can do it with free licenses. They don't need you to assign any license to them. By the way, they can start a trial. They can use a free a flow license. But here they combine it 2 connectors: a business connector, connect to Exchange, the Outlook, After 365 Outlook mailbox, and they also connect to OneDrive Personal. So I think if you don't know that it is possible, have a look, because maybe you could, do something to avoid it if it's necessary, of course. Second one, you just got a ticket, right? You are working normally, like slowly receiving ITSM tickets and so on, and Someday you got a message from your CEO. Why my license expired? I cannot understand why my Power Automate P2 has expired. And then what is the face or what is the reaction of a support that is not, they don't know either about Power Automate? What is the answer? Basically, this is the answer, guys. That's exactly the answer. You are saying like, what is happening? I have no idea why someone is using Power Automate. So to avoid that kind of behavior or that kind of reaction, you need to know what they are using. The next one, something went wrong. I think as SharePoint administrators, probably you saw this screen many times in your life. So you can see it. Depends on how people is building workflows in using Power Automate. And these can exceed the resource that you are using in your SharePoint. Like we got this last year, as you can see, um, showing this error to all users, to all population. And then we got a device from Microsoft. So I think something is wrong there because your SharePoint subscription is being throttled. What is going on? Can you have a look? And also they sent to us which SharePoint site collection was, receiving all the requests and was consuming more resource than it should be. So also it's a very now Microsoft provided a way to to teach users that they are creating infinite looping when they are building a workflow using SharePoint Connect. So now they have like a warning saying, yeah, don't save it because this flow probably will never stop because you are trigger a item that has been modified, but you are modifying the item again. So I will, run and run and run many times. But it happened last year, so we didn't know that someone could build a flow, and we didn't know that they could shut down also our SharePoint Online access. Second, if you are here with me, you can scan this QR code because I gave you like examples about workflows and Power Automate on your company, but also we can include Power BI. If you scan this code, probably you can see my dashboard showing how much I spent in IT in my company. Of course, it's a template, it is a sample, but a lot of users also, if you are not taking care, they can create public links of internal reports. That's the easiest way to share a report using Power BI without pay pro license. Why not? So that's also something that I guess you should review in your company if you are not checking all the tenant settings, all the default settings that you have in your tenant. People can start sharing Power BI dashboard with internal data, and this data can be used using an anonymous link, as you can open now. Can you open? Someone try it? Some seconds, I don't know if you got some message there. Okay, I will check it later. And so that's why I'm here trying to advise you administrators that it's important to have a look and to create a plan and to have some governance on your Power Platform solutions. If you are a global admin, if you are the one responsible for Microsoft 365 environment. And the issues that I said, probably you can solve just after this session. Like you can review all the settings that you have in your tenant, and then maybe you can take advantage of knowing before users start using, because business users don't need IT anymore to start, take advantage of the power of Power Platform. And I think they should not wait for us, otherwise they are going to delay a lot of business solutions. So that's why I am here, not to talk about a movie, but we really need to talk about Power Platform. Yeah, we need to talk about Power Platform. And not, as I said, not to build new and nice things, but also to review what we have to review. And that's now I will start like from the administration and the governance part, what you can do. We have many also admin centers, of course, and then I will show you some of them. And basically, to start, we need to understand who can create environments in our Microsoft 365 tenant. How can we define the environment roles? Who is the environment admin? Who is the environment maker? How can we, create some DLP policies to avoid, at least to avoid, because today you cannot block such a connector, but at least to avoid to combine business connector with non-business connector. How can you at least prevent in somehow if you are not ready to define different environments per different type of development. And if you are using Power BI, also define who can install data gateways to get on-premise information, also to sync this information with your online solutions. Also, Azure AD is something that is in our desk, and it's part of our daily work or daily tasks. You can also see which AD roles you can define, and then to avoid someone to control all the things from the Power Platform part. And here, just how to start. If you want to start today after this session, so environment creation. If you don't know yet who will be responsible for environment creation, define that only admins, global admins can do it. Go there in DLP policy and define a DLP policy at least for the default environment, and try to bring all the Office 365 solution to business data policy, and leave the others in non-business data. So then people at least will not be able to combine both during the flow creation. And Microsoft has on the roadmap that in the LP policy probably we are going to block a connector. I heard a few weeks ago, and if you want to define your DLP policy and be more restrictive, you can also define that some connectors are totally forbidden in your environment. And if you want to start, I prepared something from my experience. I have an action plan that I can share with you. So you don't know how to start, you don't know what you should prepare in your organization, don't worry. You can take this Excel file after this session. I was just trying to follow all the COE guidelines. And here, you can have activities. You can define activities to complete in your organization, like I have here. So from the architecture point of view, what I need to do in the tenant level if I am the admin. And then from the administration and governance part, what should I do and so on. And then you can go ahead and complete all the steps. At least it's a basic action plan that you can take it and start from today, having a look and reviewing all the settings from the Power Platform. I will provide this Excel file that I have been. I use it when I started, when I got some problems, and I said like, how should I organize my tasks? So then I created. Something that you can also do it is from the license perspective. I really don't like to block trials in Microsoft 365 environments, but of course, if you do not have option, you can block using the admin center. You can block that in your tenant end users are not able to start a trial. And then you need to decide, because if you are disabling this option, you are disabling for the whole tenant. And even you as a global admin, if you want to try a specifically type of license, probably you are not going to be able after. And The second is an option to disable at least the self-service purchase, because as business users, they have the power to do many things. They have the power to decide what they want to buy. And you can disable that they cannot assign a credit card through your tenant. They cannot buy I don't know, power apps license, and then they are adding their own credit card, or they are trying to pay in a different way and associate this subscription to your tenant. If you don't want to allow that, so also there is a PowerShell which you can disable. Of course, you are keeping the trials enabled, but at least people cannot start buying a license using your tenant. And if you, of course, everything that I said before, you don't need a specific license, but if you also have an environment which you have, for example, a PU&D premium license, you are invited to have a look on the conditional access, because you can create some conditional access to avoid that people to avoid like data loss, to apply also the data loss prevention in the conditional access, or you can prevent people um, to connect in your solutions if they are not using a managed device, or if they are not passed through in the MFA configuration, and so on and so far. So you can make your environment more secure. And then if you have AD premium, it's also part of this governance to make everything secure. And also Microsoft Intune, if you are using, it's a good way to, decide who will get it, Power Apps or Power Automate apps, and keep the apps up to date, and also keep the apps compliant with your policies. And after having a look in all activities that you need to complete in your environment, you can apply the monitor, and you can start to monitor some users' activities. You can have a look in the usage of Power Platform in your organization, and also you can start act on that. Like one action that is very nice to have. Let's see that someone is starting a trial in your environment. You could send a message to them to complete a training before they go ahead. You are seeing that user create a Power Apps or create an app using Power Apps. And then you can send a message to them, oops, you didn't finish the training. So, if you don't have the certificate, internal certificate, based on the training that we are, give to you all the guidance, how to create an app, you cannot go ahead. So we are shutting down your app. And then you can use the activity alerts to create kind of, adoption action, and you can work on that actions together with your adoption team for sure. Saying everything, let's have a look, all the possibilities that you have to keep your environment secure and under control, but in a correct way now. And so let me show you like the Power Platform Admin Center. Let me show you the Power BI Admin Center, the alert policy that you can use from the security and compliance portal. Also some templates that Microsoft already provided that you can just use in your organization. Do we have some questions until now? No? Okay, good. How many? So, wow. Nice to see all of you. Great. So let me show you how to start. Do you want to say something? No. Okay. And you can review all the things that I'm saying because we are recording this session, so you can also take a look later. The first thing that I would like to show you, let me add here. Everybody probably, every admin or Microsoft 365 admins, you have access on the admin of 365 for sure. And something that you should know all here by default, if you have E1, E3 license, by default, you are going to find a different portals or a different admin centers to take care about Power Platform. One of the admin centers you can find using Power BI option. If you want to take care about Power Apps, Power Automate, Dynamics 365, you can use the links of those applications to find out the admin center. If I am talking about Power Platform, Microsoft probably will centralize all the admin centers. At least we are going to start on one admin center, and then we can move to another admin center after. But today we have Power BI admin center because we could delegate rights to a specific user to like to have a look on the Power BI
Even if
tenant
we would
settings.
use workflows, we would not use the SharePoint workflows, but Power Automate. It's not out of the box. It's a
It was a
kind of
question.
created workflow. It's
Hello, can you repeat the question like from the beginning? Sorry.
we will not use it for
Ah,
sure.
okay, okay. So,
Uh,
uh,
if we will use it, then I'm out.
So then we can answer in the end. Let me just show you like the admin center and where you can find how many users are using your organization, the DLP policy, and so on. And then we can take it. Um, if you have Microsoft 365 subscription, as I said, probably you can go in the admin center of Power Apps or Power Automate. And here's the old admin center. If you want to start having a look, if you are checking all the environments that you have in your environment, for sure you can apply some policies who can create environments. As for example, if I am trying to click here and create a new environment, I will jump into the new admin center because now we have admin center where Microsoft will consolidate all the Power Platform solutions. And we have the classic admin center that was before, where you can see all the environments, even if it's related with Dynamics 365, even if it's related with your default environment that is created for you without any action. And this is the new admin center, which we are going to see who is using solutions in your environment. You are going to define who can create environments. So I am here checking all the environments that I have, the same screen that I was showing before. And if you are clicking here close to your picture, you can check the Power BI settings is the one option, or let me refresh here to see if I can see the option to change. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing. There is another option here. Maybe it will come. Because in the new admin center, we can define who can create environments or not. The same way that I could, for example, for data gateways, I could define who can install gateways in our environment or not. Like here, I have another tab that can show me who can install gateways in my organization. Then I can disable or I can enable and then list all users that will be able to install and then connect and send data from on-premise to my online solutions. And we should have the same here for Power Platform for create environment creation. So then you can delegate on only admins will be able to create environments, and then you are avoiding to have a lot of environments without your control. Because when I start to take a look, or I will start taking a look in Power Platform, I found here more than 20 environments that some users created from trials, some users were just doing investigation, and then we discovered that a lot of environments they could also use different type of connectors, which is not good, and that's why it's important to have some governance here. And when you have an environment, probably we can, have another session, or we can discuss a little bit deeper on this topic. When you have an environment, think about it like you are having small small tenants for Power Platform inside of your Microsoft 365, where you can delegate a different type of policy. So here I have my data loss prevention policy, and I can define for the default environment where every user will see and will use the same. I would like to define what kind of connector I want to create as business data. If I am edit this policy, I can go here and I can have a look. So for this environment where I have all on, I do not add any policy, or I do not add in any configuration. So everybody that have access in this environment will be able to use all the connectors. And when I am talking about all the connectors, I am talking about like more than probably 300 connectors that people can use from internal or business data, and also connect with external business data. If I am checking the default environment where every users will end up, I did a configuration here. What I am trying to prevent is not to block connectors, because end users will be able to create a workflow saying Dynamics 365 trigger something in Dynamics 365, and then send to Twitter, or connect to external application. It will be possible. But in this DLP policy, by default, as I'm not prepared yet to have all the users using Power Platform, I decided that if they are triggering a SharePoint, or if they are using SharePoint as a connector, they cannot combine this connector with a OneDrive personal connector. Or if they are triggering Outlook mailbox, they are not able to combine with a personal connector. That's why I created 3 policies at least. One policy is for the default environment. Another policy is for a playground, all the developers and people that want to play around. And I have one policy for my Dynamics 365 environment, because I need to add a different connectors as a business data connector. So that's why I created those 3 policies here. And if you want to create a new environment, you can also create a new policy, and then decide what kind of connector you are going to use there. That's one way that you can prevent, and is listed in my Excel file. If you want to have a look who is using your solution, go again to the new Admin Center portal. Have a look here. You can click on Power Automate apps, and you can see like a summary of solutions that people are using in your organization. It's the same that you can do if you want to use the templates from the COE guidelines. You can also have some templates that you can have a look on everything that people can use. Here I can have like, a summary, or kind of usage overview of everything that I have in my organization. The same that I could use if I want to take from the COE toolkit, start a toolkit. I can have a template like this one in Power BI, and then I will connect in my environment, and then I will list all the connections that I have. I will list all the environments that I have in my organization, how many workflows I have, and how many users are using, because I can have the name of the created here. So it's also a template available that I will share a link with you in the end of the session. But if you don't want to install anything, if you don't want to get any templates, just go to the admin portal as a global administrator, or a Power Platform administrator, or a Dynamics 365 administrator, and you can have at least a summary of the usage. You can also export the information and then decide what to do next. Something that you can also use to monitor who is using or not is Power Automate. There are many templates as well. If you are searching for templates here in Power Automate, you can find templates like, I would like to get all the new Power Apps flows and connectors that people are creating in my organization. And after set up this connector, or after set up this workflow in your environment, you are going to start receiving emails like that. And as you can see, I have here the name of the environment. I have here the name of the flow, who created. I also have how many Power Apps someone is creating my tenant, and the name of the app, who created, and also the connectors that Microsoft are adding on that week or on that day to all the environments. And I can see the different environments that I have as well, because you can also decide which environment will get all the new connectors and which environment will not get the new connectors based on your DLP policy that we were before. It's also a good way to monitor your environment. And something that you can also go a little bit deep in our daily work from administrator part is you can use the security and compliance portal. I maybe if you are not Office 5 administrator, you do not have any rights as admin in Microsoft 365 tenant. Probably you don't know this portal, but this portal you could also monitor some activities based on a specific user or based on the type of activity that you want to monitor. Like, I would like to monitor every time that someone is going to Power BI tenant and change a tenant settings. I would like to monitor that and send this information to admins or send this information to Power BI product owner. You can also use like kind of a Microsoft notification by default and send this information, or you can send to you, and then you can create a workflow that will get the content, and then you make a better communication to the product owner of the solution. I have here also in my activity alerts when someone is creating dashboard that is public to web. As I was showing before, you could open the dashboard that I created, because in my tenant, I am able to create links that will be anonymous. People don't need to sign in to open the dashboard. But if you'd like to monitor if someone is using or who can use and what kind of dashboard that I use, you can also monitor using activity alerts. This is also a way to do it. Let's see what else I have here to show you. From the COE toolkit, you could have some apps in your environment. Let's see if I have here this app. You see, I also, in the beginning, I said I'm not using Power Platform, so why should invest time on that? So now I am showing like that you could, for example, as it's not opening, I could go here to my PowerPoint. There is a link, and there is a link that will send you to a template, a specific template that you can import in your environment. And then you could read all the data, the usage in your organization, then have a look how many apps you have this week, and then provide this dashboard to your managers. And maybe they will understand that we need to add Power Platform in our daily work without, without any doubt about it. So you can use the links here I will provide it. The Power BI dashboard is also a template, the one that I was showing before, where you can connect to your environment, and then you can decide which environment you are going to connect, and then you can have a summary of all the things that is happening in your organization. And there are a lot of many nice templates that you can get from the paper. And then I will provide you here, of course, in docs as well. You can have many information and also decide when you can apply policy or when you can also edit or delete policies in your organization. And this is what I was talking about since the beginning. Center of Excellence Toolkit. you can download this information, and then you can find out. Like sometimes we are creating DLP policies, and maybe we are creating DLP policies that is not meeting what our business users need. And for that, there is also a Canvas app where people can request to have a different type of connector. And then you are going to start a workflow to approve if you want to add this connector as a business connector, or if you want to keep as a non-business connector, and then they cannot combine in the same workflow. You can also get what I said before. You can monitor using audit logs from Office 365. Is very powerful what we can deliver from the Office 365 audit logs to create some actions when we are talking about a Power Platform. And you can also define who is the admin to have a look on all the possibilities that we have in our environment. And also, in the end, you could combine everything that you are collecting, you could combine with some adoptions. That will be helping to send a welcome email to everybody that will start to use Power Platform in your organization. You can also ask the user to complete, as I said, to complete a training before they go ahead. A lot of nice things that you should have a look really on all the reference. And here I also have a white paper. Just if you want to build the whole governance part from the beginning to the end, you should have a look on this PDF. It's amazing. Can give you a lot of theoretic stuff that you need to organize to make this kind of list that I was showing before. Where is it? As I was showing, I will send to you, don't worry. But if you want to decide what you need to prevent, or how you can start, maybe on the white paper, you could create or increment you can increment this list that I have here, and then you are going to do a very good job in your organization. Everything that you can do will be better, because then you are keeping your business user using nice solutions, and then you are also keep your environment secure. And I think that's it. What I have prepared, as I said, it's from my own experience. Everything that I said, everything that I found, to get used to understand that we have many portals to have a look, but take advantage of security and compliance, activity logs, audit logs to understand everything that is happening in our Microsoft 365 tenant. It's very important, and it's something that you cannot wait to take a look today. And again, you can scan this QR code, send to us what if you found this session useful, if you have questions, if you want to send recommendations. So we are here to understand and make better sessions and better content to you. And also download all the Excel file, and then you are going to organize your day, and don't miss all the sessions. There are a lot of nice content that you should have a look during this Friday. I think that's it, and then I will stay here a little bit for answer some questions, or we can discuss. Thank you for stay with me.
Thank you, Sara.
Thank you, Sara.
Thanks to you.